The battle for the Red Fork has begun. Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to some more Game of Thrones 7 Kingdoms mod for Total War Attila, as today we have 14,000 soldiers coming together for one epic engagement. House Lannister and their allies going up and teaming up with the Riverlands. We've even got the Blackfish, who has sold his soul, broken his bonds and gone with Tywin Lannister, fighting away against the Starks and the Vale. So it should be a really exciting battle. I'm looking forward to it, especially because of the sheer scale of it. As you can see, we've actually got over 14,000 soldiers, over 15,000 soldiers, so it's just going to be absolutely mad. Let's quickly run through a few of the units that people are bringing. We'll just go over them roughly so you have a good understanding, kind of the houses that are represented in this battle. So the Starks are going to be built up basically of an entire Stark army. They have not called their banners this day, maybe because their banners have gone home and abandoned them to their cause down in the south, who knows. But yeah, we do have a lot of these Eddard. Oh, it's actually Eddard Stark himself, and there we go. We can see his custom model. They always, Seven Kingdoms excelled at creating these custom hero characters, which just look absolutely amazing. So we have Eddard Stark there, and him and his son are leading up this left flank. We can see Robb Stark, the young wolf, right there. Behind that, we just have some normal heavy cavalry, which are going to be good at harassment forces. Then as we go along the other Stark line, we have some Stark guardsmen, longbows, their basic swordsmen, or their heavy swordsmen and spearmen, who do look very cool. And then just an assortment and other standard troops. Making our way over to the forces of the Vale on their front line. They have a few more men-at-arms archers than, say, the Starks do. They also have some of these awesome looking men-at-arms swordsmen with these huge overall shields. Also, we have the famous Vale Knights right here. These guys are heavy cavalry, which will do a great job. And you can see that Genku has gone ahead and given them that golden upgrade to make them a little bit stronger. One of the things as well I love about the guardsmen infantry for the Vale is their capes. I always love a good cape, and it's good to see them. Then taking a look on the other side, we have the Lannisters on their front line. By the way, we do have House Brax going to be their meat shield, sending House Brax forward to die before the Lannister soldiers then go ahead and reinforce. I mean, that is very Tywin Lannister right there, and that does also look very awesome to see all the units formed up like that. So Tywin's going to be sending House Brax forward with a light force. Then he has his heavier Lannister soldiers as we go further back. And then finally he does have his pikemen as well. No retreat. Any Lannister turns around, he will die by their own pikes. Tywin, you crafty man. Then we also have some Lannister cavalry back here, and Tywin as well. Of course, Tywin is here today. He looks amazing, man. The custom models, I know I just said it, but they are really good. Then House Tully is bringing all the Riverlands, I should say. I'll have some Tully soldiers. We also have some men from House Brax and or House Lannister. I know a lot of these houses were loyal to, the Blackfish and the Tullys and wouldn't fight with Tywin, but, this is just a bit of a custom example. So we have a whole range of different units on the front line. I like this kind of mix. Instead of just having a line of Tully, a line of House Brax, a line of so-and-so, House Lannister. I like how it's all mixed up, so we have every house helping out. We even have House Frey back here as well, with a few extra units, and also some pikemen. Interesting to note that the House Brax pikemen don't actually have any shields compared to the Lannister soldiers who do. Then finally we have, as we said, the Blackfish leading forward. We can see his custom models right there. And then anyone else interested? No, it just looks like some more heavy cavalry from both from Bracken and also Lannister right there. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get this battle started. I'll tell the players to go and start fighting, and we'll see these two battle lines clash. As you can see, there are so many units in this battle, and I think that's one of the things that this mod does so well, is it goes ahead and just adds the pure scale. Every big engagement like this feels like an actual battle, and it's great to see it. So if you guys want to see more engagements like this, me coming back to, because I haven't really done a lot of Seven Kingdoms in a while, so if you guys want to see more of this, do let me know in the comments down below. Drop that like, drop that comment, and I'll be happy to do more of it in the future. So simply just, let me know in the comments and we'll go ahead and definitely do more battles. And if you have any cool battle names as well, or any ideas for certain engagements, or you just want to have a certain setup you want me to do, I'd be happy to dive in on that as well. As we can see the Veil moving forward, their soldiers. We're going to be getting a little bit of lag. This should clear up as soon as the units get closer and closer to one another, because they're going to spread out a lot more, and it shouldn't be as bad. Obviously, having 15,000 soldiers on a tiller where it's not just my system running it, it's going to be a little bit jumpy, but nothing we can't handle. So immediately we can just see the two forces moving closer and closer to one another. The Riverlands front line kind of being very long, whereas House Lannister's kind of condensed. So I imagine House Lannister's just going to try and pierce through the front lines, and then after that we'll have the kind of Riverlands just trying to hold the Starks in place whilst the elite army of Tywin just tries to finish up the Vale. However, the front line is now going to be in range, I believe, for its first volley of these Vale archers, with their reinforcements turning up just behind as well. I would assume it'd be in range by now, but maybe they are just out of range. It does look like they are holding their fire for now. Maybe the order has not been given, as some of the men of arms just kind of take the front line right there. These archers, though, should be shooting already if they are in range, because they need to try and take out as much of this meat shield as they can. I mean, to be fair as well, they could just ignore it. Maybe that's why the men of the Vale aren't shooting yet. It's because they don't want to waste ammunition. They're saying that, they're just going to pick these guys apart. Lightly armored units, no shield. They're just going to chop through them. And even though you might say this is a waste of arrows, I mean, it keeps their infantry fresh, right? It stops their infantry from getting tired, exhausted, and they can, play the range game. They have plenty of ammunition to do this, so it's not like they're missing out. One of the things, though, that the Starks could do right now is come clashing into the side of the Vale. The forces of the Starks are kind of slow. They're marching up, which is the smarter decision. No need to tire units out at the moment, but they're leaving the Vale front line kind of undefended a little bit as they do form up, and there are gaps appearing in this battle line. Right here, the forces, I don't know if I can draw. I can draw. They could easily just come round here and hit in, as we do actually have a nice little cavalry charge right there. Oh, that was brutal. The infantry must not have been formed up, as the cavalry do come in there, charging down the men-at-arms, pretty much wiping out that entire unit. They're going to be receiving some missile fire, but that was a really good charge by House Lannister using their heavy knights. And I think one of the things this mod does do is it makes heavy knights extremely strong. They can just flatten infantry if given the chance, and they're kind of ill supported without units to back them up or slow them up at all. Which is one of the things I really love about this mod, is it just makes the cavalry really, really strong, much like it was. So we're going to be getting our first little melee engagement here as the front line does push up. The Vale are in a pretty tidy shield wall. Do they have any javelins to throw? Oh, they do have javelins. Oh, this is going to be brutal. I really like what House Lannister are doing right now. Very tactical. It shows that Tywin have come prepared. Javelins coming out, and that's actually going to force the Vale men to charge forward and break their shield wall. So just by bringing this line of javelins, it's done a good job. It's also going to be breaking up the formation a little bit. How's the cavalry done? Looking like it's kind of a good trade here for the Vale. Even though they did lose a lot of their men-at-arms, they've taken out a decent portion of this cavalry for the Lannisters, and they also have a huge portion of their own cavalry still left remaining. However, Lannisters are not going to give up right now. They're going to go flying into combat, trying to charge into the side of the Vale. We do have the poor meat shields of House Bracken, House Brack, sorry, charging forward, and they're going to be getting pushed back, and the javelins are going to be next as well, trying just to get as many kills before they do end up going down as possible. Does also look at the moment as well that the Starks are going to be just kind of having a nice little exchange missile fire wise. I like how this battle's in two kind of phases right now. We have the front lines just kind of clashing and doing their work. However, it's not going to punish either side, because normally what happens if you do this in a normal battle on Total War, you end up getting punished because you've lost a big portion of your force. But that was a nice little kind of skirmish phase right there, which is not something you get in too many battles. You throw forward some crappy units just to support your heavy knights to do some damage. Yes, you lost your knights, but you softened up the infantry quite nicely. We do just have the guardsmen cavalry fighting, and we then also have the rest of the infantry being pushed back. So at the moment, the Vale probably came out on top of that, but I don't know how heavily they did. We're also going to be getting a skirmisher line right here being pushed up. Some of the outriders. This is javelin cavalry. They're very vulnerable to missile fire, but obviously they can do some good damage. And again, they're going to be charging into the lightly formed up infantry. So this is going to be effective, however not as effective as the heavy knights. The heavy knights have that huge shock power where they just smash through. Yes, I just punched my hand because I wanted to really get that across. They have that hard shock power which can just smash through battle lines. The outriders not necessarily as much, but they can still, do some good damage if the infantry is maybe not facing the right way. And it looks like the Starks and the Vale have given out a full-out assault. They've kind of tasted blood of the Lannister forces, and this could be all Tywin's plans right now, to encourage the forces forward and then take that advantage. Tywin Lannister is moving over to the left flank looking to break this, and I don't know, it's going to be very interesting to see whether Tywin's plan can kick off. He's got the no retreat line back here, and I assume that this Lannister line is going to be pushing these pikes through the gaps of his spearmen as they hold a pretty nice tactic, and it's going to be up to the Vale archers to try and beat them back. I'm also a little bit nervous because the Valemen are charging forward all of these infantry which are tired and they've taken a lot of casualties, and I'm not sure if they're just going to be able to hold up. I feel like they're just going to rout fairly quickly. Luckily they are fighting the spearmen of the Lannisters, so it's to be expected. Oh my god, just look at this battle line right now. And the Starks could be ending up to just fall into the trap right here because the Riverland line is so long. I don't think the Starks are going to be able to match it as much as, say, for example, the other units are. Oh, wow, such a lazy slice right there. No wonder that Riverman died. The Riverlands are pushing their cavalry in now. This will be the perfect opportunity for Eddard and his son to move in and try and smash the Lannister cavalry right here. But this is going to be a good heavy cavalry charge if they can get in. The Starks are going to counter charge, but I don't know how effective that's going to be. This is only Frey cavalry, and the Frey cavalry isn't great, but I mean that's some awesome damage. This is when the Starks needed just to simply push up their cavalry and try and dominate this side of the battle. How are the men of the Vale doing? That's what I've got to ask. The men of the Vale are looking like a little bit shaky. Oh, so much archer fire. Tywin Lannister has moved himself into the battlefield, and that's going to open himself up for all this arrow fire. Can we try and find Tywin on the battlefield? He is a little bit easier to spot than, say, the other ones. I also slow down the camera a little bit. There he is, Tywin Lannister fighting the Vale men in the front lines, bravely putting himself. I don't think Tywin would normally risk himself being this crazy on the front lines. Like, he would fight, but I mean, then again, at the Battle of Blackwater Bay, he led the charge, at least in the TV show. I mean, just look at this battle. This is one crazy-ass battle. And these are the things which really make me enjoy Total War, when we just have so much going on, 15,000 soldiers all fighting. So as I said, if you guys want to see more of this, more of huge battles, then do let me know. This is also a really interesting battle, and oh my god, who died? Who got slain on the battlefield? Was it Eddard? Or was it... Oh yeah, we can click this really quickly and find out. Eddard Stark has been slain on the battlefield. The Frey spearmen supporting House Bracken's cavalry has defeated him. Now it's going to be up to Robb Stark to take up his father's lead and push forward. Where is Robb? Is Robb still alive? Has he been taken down as well? The Blackfish has not paid for his treachery. I don't know where Robb's cavalry is. I can't really see it on the battlefield whatsoever. No, I can't. So maybe Robb has been killed as well. The cavalry just going heavily in the favor of the evil side. I guess the Lannister side. I shouldn't really call them evil. However, we do have the Vale men, the Vale heavy infantry proving their worth, fighting for a cause rather than just money. And they've caved in this right flank, breaking forward all the arrow fire as well, moving its way in. Oh, just look at that in the background. This is, as you guys know, one of my favorite things in Total War. Having like a huge engagement going on right here, and then just seeing all of that going on in the background, an entire another battle which is just evolving around the engagement. I think it's just so awesome. The archers have been somewhat left untouched as well, as the Vale Knights are just hammering and anviling, and they've completely broken up the Lannister line with the heavy archers coming in. This is really, really good moves. We also have Tywin Lannister fighting for his life. His unit is down to not many men, 30 men up against the 20 units. We can also see him. He is being guarded quite heavily by his bodyguard. They're not going to give him up as he does slay another unit, but that's brutal. We also have all the archer fire going in on this general unit as well right here. I don't even know who this is. Vardis Aegon? I honestly don't know who this is. Do let me know in the comments what character this is. I mean, I'm sure he's obviously in the book, but I also honestly don't remember him. The Starks as well have just broken through the Tully line, even after losing their general. I guess maybe word has not reached them. Maybe Rob is alive somewhere. I just can't seem to see him on the battlefield anywhere. So I can only assume that Robb Stark has died as well. Who is rallying these men forward? Especially if the archers get caught up as well. If the archers die, that's going to be a huge portion of the force just simply going down. We'll look at the balance of power. We can see that the men of the Vale and House Stark have 2,600 men left, whereas the Lannisters only have 2,000. Oh, that'd be a pretty nice number. Only have 2,000 soldiers. So this battle could literally still go either way. Do we have Is Tywin being killed? I think Tywin has been killed as well already. Very nice. And all of the archers who have run out of ammunition are going to be moving into the battlefield. We still have the Blackfish, though, charging in, killing more of the cavalry. Really, it just seems like it's heavily down to the Starks wrapping around with their infantry. We have 3 units of men-at-arms right here. But the Riverlands also have a lot of cavalry left. Also, a lot of infantry right here as House Tully push round the centre flank. And I guess we'll try and rotate, because they'll kill these men-at-arms longbows fairly quickly, if they can just take them out. And we can see the rest of the last Lannister soldiers being completely broken. I mean, once Tywin dies, I imagine the forces do just collapse. We can see they are pikemen, though, and obviously the pikemen going to be very sturdy. So it's up to the Vale just to simply hold them in place with one unit and then surround with the other ones to envelop them. Over here we have some Guardsman Spear fighting up against the Blackfish. Oh no, that's not good. Spears beat cavalry. We all know how that one plays out. But there's not a ton of cavalry or a ton of spearmen here, so maybe they can just overwhelm their numbers. They also have some more of the Frey soldiers moving across. God, there's something about this modern game, like Game of Thrones in general. I think like fighting like this is really cool, because you can just kind of see all the houses moving in contingent as well. You know, you can kind of just tell really easily by these flags that, you know, oh, this is a House Frey unit, or this is a House Mallister unit, or House Bracken, or Tully, or Lannister. And it's really cool to see loads of these different flags in one army, because it really goes to show us that what Game of Thrones is all about, at least the combat of Game of Thrones is all about. All these houses, all with their own agendas and strengths and weaknesses. It is very, very cool indeed. So the House Stark still have a fair amount of archers left. And it does look like House Vale suddenly just all of a sudden lost a ton of soldiers. Wow, that battle turned on its head. I imagine it's a pikeman who managed to kill a large portion of them, maybe? They really just need to surround these guys. Yeah, I think the pikemen have done a great job over here, along with the Blackfish rallying the soldiers, killing a lot of these Starkmen. Wow, this battle has completely shifted off, and now we do have the Blackfish leading a charge across the battlefield. I mean, just look at their dead bodies piling up right there. They've also managed to surround a lot of the Stark soldiers off to the right, and they are moving forward. They need to charge down these archers if they can. Killing these archers will, I think, end the battle. Yeah, I think it's because the Rivermen, the Riverland soldiers managed to kill the Vale archers back there, which heavily transferred the battle. Running through them, we also see the cavalry right there. Cavalry, as always, you know, we even have the Blackfish as well moving in. No, I wanted to take a look at that unit, but that's fine. The cavalry just chewing through. They're going to slaughter these archers. That's going to be all she wrote at heavy costs, but at a heavy cost. But it does look like the Blackfish has claimed victory. Tywin has been slain on the battlefield. But, you know, who cares? Oh, the enemy general is dead. Oh, the Blackfish has died as well. So I think Tywin did survive. He just ran away. And I think the Vale general did survive, but just ran away. I didn't personally see the notifications. Maybe they did pop off, but it does look like, oh, what a battle. We just have a couple brave Vale soldiers up here who are very close to routing. Just finishing up the last pikemen. They're going down. The support of the men from the twins, House Frey, are going to be just finishing up the last little vanguard right here. They managed to kill the pikemen, but what a battle that was. And if we just take a look at the casualties really quickly, I mean, just look at that battle line. This was a super close battle, and it was really, really fun. So massive thank you to my Discord for being a part of this and creating this. And if you guys want to be a part of these battles in the future, be sure to join my Discord. I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can just join up. Even if you don't want to necessarily play this, if you're just looking for people to play Total War Arena or Rise of Mordor or Medieval 1212 or Warhammer 2, just join the Discord and you know, try and look for people to play. Make sure you get the guys who plays battles tags so you get notified when these battles do go live. And it is simply just this one brave unit left remaining, and they are only fighting against a Frey, so I imagine these spearmen are more than a match for House Frey. But not now the cavalry's turned up, the last of the Riverlands horses flying into the back, and that's going to be it. God damn, that was a good return to the Seven Kingdoms mod with a battle like that. That was really, really awesome. I definitely enjoyed that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well, because, you know, it's a normal old battle. That was something special. Huge scale, decent performance there from the lag, and a really goddamn close battle. This was truly the battle to end all battles. So let's look at the kills. We can see that Eddard start getting 36 kills. Rob outshining him though with almost double. And then for the rest of the Stark soldiers, all the infantry doing decently. It was just they got smashed in the cavalry engagement. Then if we look at the Vale, we can see that Vardis, Egon. Oh, is that the hedge? No, that's not the hedge knight. I know Egon. I know that name, but I can't just picture it. I guess he's maybe of House Aegon, probably. But I also feel like he could be a hedge knight, but maybe I'm just thinking of what the book title is. But anyway, the archers for the Vale doing great, the infantry all standard, and then the cavalry doing pretty decent as well. Then if we look at Hairy Hobbit's force on the Riverlands, we can see that the Blackfish, 277 kills. That's very impressive. We also have House Malice's crossbows doing a lot of damage, and then also the cavalry doing nice as well. Then finally for Tywin got 66 kills, not too bad. I mean, nowhere near to the Blackfish, proving himself as a warrior. Then over the pikemen doing good, and the sword infantry as well, a couple of 200 kills in there. Very impressive indeed. So if you guys enjoyed this and want to see more Seven Kingdoms on the channel, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.